European Union has unanimously endorsed the Brexit deal brokered over the past couple of days. Leaders applauded the deal, saying that it would help the UK leave on good terms and create positive relations in the future between the UK and other EU nations. Now this heads to the British Parliament, where vote will take place on Saturday. But getting this past the House of Commons may be tougher than getting a new deal with the EU. Thomas Cole is the head of policy at People's Vote in the UK. Thanks for being on, Thomas.
Not at all. Thanks for having me on.
So tell us, what exactly do we know about the specifics of this Brexit deal?
Sure. Well, essentially, this deal was, I guess, a renegotiated version of the version which the former Prime Minister Theresa May negotiated just over a year ago. The key issues in this remain the same problems. So there will still be this so-called divorce bill, which the UK has to pay for the EU over its many years of membership, so it's settling of the accounts. And one of the big problems is the idea of Northern Ireland. Would Northern Ireland remain aligned with EU rules and also inside the EU's customs union in order to avoid any kind of regulatory checks, to avoid a hard border? That was the main issue between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. And there has been some agreement there, but de facto what it's done is it's created a customs border down the Irish Sea. So for your viewers, that creates basically an internal customs border between Northern Ireland, one part of the UK, and Great Britain, the rest of the UK. I can't see this getting past the House of Commons as it is. It may be that on Saturday there's an amendment which is put to this, saying that it only can be ratified if the British people agree to it in a referendum, or it may be that the deal itself is completely voted down. And let's remind ourselves, we've only got 2 weeks now until the 31st of October deadline, upon which the UK is meant to leave the European Union.
I think a lot of people would agree with you. They don't think the deal will pass through to Parliament. But what will it take, in your opinion, for the House of Commons to say yes to this deal?
I think it's going to take an awful lot. I mean, what we've seen so far, the reactions from the Democratic Unionist Party, a small party in Northern Ireland, they have 10 seats in the House of Commons. They've been supporting the Conservative government ever since the 2017 general election. They've said they won't support this deal. Boris Johnson doesn't have a majority right now. He is on 287 seats in the House of Commons right now. To get a majority, you need 320. If he had those seats from the DUP, he would get up to 297, which would still be 23 votes short. I think the real problem is that he will find it very hard to be able to sell this deal. It doesn't really differ too much from the deal which Theresa May, the former Prime Minister, presented to the British Parliament on 3 occasions and was voted down on 3 occasions. And I think it's likely that we will see something similar again on Saturday. So I don't think for 1 second there's really any strong chance of this deal passing in its current stage or its current format. If it does get voted down as expected, or even amended with an amendment, for example, calling for a referendum at the end of the process, then we're in a completely different territory. But I think right now the likelihood of it getting passed is very, very slim.
And Jeremy Corbyn says this deal is worse than any of the previous ones, and said that the best way to get Brexit sorted is to give the people the final say in a public vote. Thomas, in your opinion, how would a public vote happen?
Well, that's something which we as a campaign, the organisation I've been working for, we've been campaigning for some time across the political spectrum, I should add. Of course, it's great to have support of one of the major parties in the UK, but we've been working with Conservative MPs, Labour, Liberal Democrats, the Greens, Scottish Nationalists, Welsh Nationalists, across the entire spectrum. I think in order for what we call a people's vote to come about, I mean, this might sound ridiculous, but it's very simple. We need to find a majority for that in the British Parliament. And we're doing all we can, and we have been over the last few weeks, in order to make that happen. I think what the important thing is for politicians, MPs and the House of Commons to understand is that where it was the British people who started this process in 2016, where there were certain promises which were made by the campaign, which was successful in getting that vote to leave the European Union back in 2016, have any of those promises materialized? And I think the brutal and honest answer to that is no. Therefore, it is only fair for the British people to get their say at the end of the process. I think the most likely, the most obvious way of doing that, I think there are 2 ways. Firstly, the deal itself could get amended either this weekend or perhaps even next week. Or alternatively, we have a vote on what's known as the Queen's Speech here. Every year there's a state opening of Parliament, and the latest Queen's Speech took place last week. The debate on that is scheduled to finish Monday, Tuesday next week. And one of the political parties here, the Liberal Democrats, a small party with 19 members of Parliament, has said that they would table amendment to that vote, saying that any Brexit deal, including this one which has been negotiated today, would have to be put to the British people in the confirmatory referendum, either to accept the deal or stay in the European Union. So I think there are 2 possible paths, and both ways are possible.
A lot of great information there. Thomas Cole, head of policy at People's Vote UK. Thank you so much for being on, Thomas.
Not at all. Thank you.